Good morning, Rabbi Isai. L'ilui nishmat Siyum b'Rus Chaya Freilich and Chanukah. Today's refreshments are sponsored by Mordechai Feldman, L'ilui nishmat Yehuda Leib ben Ludwig and Monique Bas Yehuda Leib, and Nachum Yishkoyach also for the sponsorship, and Helbert, and Donnie Fine. No, he's just the one that was making a lot of noise. Rabbi Isai, tonight is the big night. Massive Siyum of 800 people. It's going to be a tremendous Kiddush Hashem. We're going to be singing and dancing and hearing Divrei Torah from Remaylich Biederman. It's going to be unbelievable. We're still looking for some sponsors, though. You ever noticed, like when we do a regular Siyum here in Eretz Yisrael, people are nervous about the price. They say 100 shekel, I can't really do it. But at 150, everybody bought tickets. What's pshat? Because a Jew knows where there's a good deal. He realizes that typically something like this costs 400. If you can get it for 150, he's in. Azoy is. It's gewaldig. Check this out. We have a couple of very good videos today. From children also.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Steiging up here in Switzerland. Eli, I love when my Rebbe shows in class you arcs. Keep up the good work, Shkoyach.
It's interesting. The second video is also very similar, but I'm going to show you a video now. It's the longest video that I probably have ever shown during the email portion, but it's very well done. I can't pause it in the middle, so I want you to notice how every kid says a line to perfection. I don't know if they did it on the first try or what, but each kid, without getting confused, one kid after another, it's unbelievable. Let me see where it is. Here we go. Thank you for what you did for me and my students. Just a quick insight that I had. I wanted to share this with you at the Shabbaton, but since I'm one of those quiet guys, I don't want to bother you, so I decided I would send you this email instead. I hope you don't consider this an insult, but you're not a Magichir, you're much more than that, you're a Rebbe. Magichir is just that, someone who just gives the shir and is out, and the student has to do the rest. But a Rebbe invests all of his strength and talents. He's talking about himself, I think, because you're going to see in a second. He doesn't rest until he knows that he reached each student, so thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I did enjoy the video a lot. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. Your student, Moshe Steinberg, Rabbi Isai, here we go.
Bracha, Chanukah, MDY. Welcome to the MDY sweatshop. We were busy making MDY yarmulkes for my class in 5th grade in Haub. We had a wonderful, me and my wife had a wonderful time by the Shabbaton. We were inspired by a couple of the guys put the stickers on their yarmulkes. So I decided it would be an awesome Hanukkah gift from MDY, of course, for all my students in Haub. So we're busy making yarmulkes. Just want to say thank you again, Reb Eli, for unbelievable Shabbaton, unbelievable Shabbos, unbelievable inspiration of how to become a better Rebbe, how to be motivated, and how to motivate our students. And again, Freilich Chanukah, MDY.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai! We are the 5th grade in Howell, Hebrew Academy of Long Beach. Our Rebbe is a longtime member of MDY. We wanted to thank you, Reb Eli, for showing our Rebbe how to be more fun and interesting. Before your shir, he used to be dull and boring, but now because of you, he's fun and excited. We have PowerPoints, Kahoots, we are learning Mishnah Sukkah, and we make our own 3D models on something called SketchUp. He also tries to be funny, tells stories, and makes jokes. Okay, still working on that one. We wanted to thank you for showing our Rebbe that's not about the dog, but it's about the fun and excitement. So we will come back every year. Thank you for these awesome MDY yarmulkes that our Rebbe made for us from the stickers he got from the MDY Shabbaton. We would like to thank Mark Ashkenazi, Tamar Levy, and of course, Rebbe Yosef for hooking our Rebbe up with those awesome stickers. Thank you, MDY.
Wow. One of the best. No, wasn't that unbelievable? One after another, without tripping up on one another. Gewaldig. This is, without a name, this is a guy working at the print press for tonight. For tonight's Siyum, this is the menu, I believe, that's coming out of the machine. The guy's doing the daf. He sent this in. He says, I do the daf while I print. It's like, I used to play basketball. I used to say, I hurt my knee, so if the menu doesn't come out so good, you should just know he's watching the video the whole time. That's why. Okay. This is a surprise for her husband. He doesn't know that he's going to be online over here, but he's just made a Siyum. Moshe Chaya is the name, and I think that's it for today. Rabbi, we have 21 sponsors. Refuah Shelaima, the Masechta, for Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. Let me see how long this takes. The Masechta sponsor 4, הצלחה ברוחניות ובגשמיות. The Masechta sponsored Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning the Daf Yomi at age 70 until he was nifter 32 years later. Masechta for the unity of the Jewish people. 6, Parnassa B'revach Refuah. 1, Siylia Dvora. 2, Benimin Ben מאיר Zev David. 3, Zechraya Ben Moshe Chaya Bas Yosef. 4, Yosef Ben Chaya is sorry for Parnassa B'revach. 5, as a schus for our children and tremendous Parnassa. 6, nishmat Yafa Bat Simcha Refuah Shelaima Yisrael Yaakov V'Malka. Yesterday there was a terrible thing. Reb Nachman Seltzer's son-in-law's brother. Nachman Seltzer has a son-in-law. Reb Brahman, the Rashiv from Yerushalayim, his son. His son was walking in Yerushalayim. In his yeshiva, they're doing construction, and a whole pallet of bricks fell off a crane and hit the guy in the head. His name is Binyamin Ben Daniela Margalit.
He needs a lot of davening.
A lot.
But he needs a lot of that. From a whole share, everyone in the world should be davening for this guy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Daniela Margalit.
Parnassa B'revach Refuah, 7 of them. 1, Jack and Merlin Super. Mazel Tov, Naftali, and Nene Schmuckler on the birth of Yehudis Mazel Tov. Arthur Berkowitz, Yaakov Ben Chaim Shlomo for Bracha and Simcha Amen. L'schus Yaakov Aram Ben Chaya Alte, Zissel Bas Freda Malka, Groises Schus. Mazel Tov to Simi Chigger, Erev and Daf Beis, and the entire Chigger and Beer families on the upcoming Chassan tonight of the children, Josh Chigger to Jamie Beer in New York. They should be zoich to build a Bayis Nem Yisrael in good health and besimcha ad mei ve'esrim, amen. Naftali Kraus should be a schos for belly to continue to learning geschmack, siyat d'shmai, yiddish nachas, shalom bayis, to enjoy, remember, and teach Torah. Parnassa Refuah and Atzlacha. Thank you so much. Yisher koyach. Parnassa B'revach Refuah, Lilu Nishmas Cyril Bazev. Parnassa B'revach Refuah, Moshe Cohn, in honor of my son's bar mitzvah and my good friend Yitzchak Rosenbluth. So 6 out of the 7 sponsors today were for schusim, for live people, Givaldik. The koil of the day, sponsored by Tzvi Korlin in honor of Zois Chanukah's schus for health, Nachas, Shalom Bayis, lots of Shef and Parnassa to the MDY family, Shekayach. Koil of the week, in memory of Simcha and Gittel Stern, lifelong supporters of Torah. The Neshamas should have an Aliyah. Art of the month for schus for Rebellion and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. And art of the month, in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. Rabbi, we're holding smack in the middle of Daf Tesvav Amud Beis. We'll go a little quicker because we already did it. We're just backing up a little bit. Hariva Ze'ev. We're talking about the bezdin of 23 to kill a lion or wolf. You need a bezdin of 23. Omer Shlakish. Vushe Misu, when do you kill them? When they kill the human being. Avaloy Misu Loi. When they don't kill somebody, you don't kill them. You could tame an animal, and therefore, if you could tame an animal, you're allowed to bring him up in your house. It's not a sakana. And therefore, they have an owner. If they have an owner and you can tame them, then you should not kill them unless you have permission from a bezin of 23. You go ahead and kill an animal, even if they didn't kill somebody. You see a lion walking around the street, you don't have to wait until he kills someone. You kill him. They're not tamed, and therefore they don't have an owner, and you just kill them to prevent a danger. None. It says in the Mishnah that anybody that is first, they kill them. He is Zoicha. What does Zoicha mean? He gets their hides. What exactly was he Zoicha? Says the Gemara, why? The problem is, once they have a chi of misa, you can kill them because they're a danger. So they're similar to an animal like Shara Niskal that there's an Isra Hana from it. Very interesting. My Zacha says the Gemara, Zacha l'shamayim, you get a mitzvah in Shamayim for doing it. You don't get their hide, you get a mitzvah. Tanya Kava said there's Shlakish, Echad Shar Shemis Vechad Be'em V'chai Shemisu, Besrim V'shloisha. You need 23 to kill an animal. Rebbe Lezer Omer Shar Shemis Besrim V'shloisha. Ushar Be'em V'chai Shemisu. But any other animal, Dafka, a bull, is 23. But a lion, a bear, a wolf, Kol hakoidim lahargon zachabem lashamayim. It says straight out, the Zechia is a mitzvah lashamayim. Rebbe Akiva also says 23. Rebbe Akiva haynu Tanakama. Isn't that the same exact sheet as Tanakama? Says the Gemara kibenay nachash. Oh, there's a new animal called a snake. A snake you can't tame. You can't do anything to it. Although we did have a video yesterday of a guy with a snake. Somebody brought a snake, but you don't need Bezin 23. How many do you need then?
0.
One person. One person, go ahead and kill. A Maisa, in America, somewhere, like in Missouri, there were a lot of snakes. So the sheriff said, anybody that brings in a dead snake, $50. So they started piling up. They got hundreds of snakes. Farmers went out there. The next year, they didn't have a crop. They realized that these snakes, although they weren't poisonous, they were killing the mice. Akiva Baruch knows what he's doing. There's a certain balance that you need. Says the Gemara, Ein Donin. Yeah, Nachash. Okay, so now we are holding in the list of 71. We went through the list of 3, 10. We even had yesterday, Karka, different things. Then we spoke about the 23, the Reveya, Nirva, Sharaniska, we just spoke about. Now we're at 71. There's a bezin of 71. For what? First one on the list, number 28, Shevet. Be'ezer Hashem will get through all the way to 35 today, hopefully. Shevet, an entire Shevet did an Aveira. Says Gemara, Hay Shevet, the Chata B'mai. What exactly was the Chet? Eli the Shevet Shechilus Shabbos. They all Mechal Shabbos. When does the Torah differentiate between an individual and many when it comes to Avodah Zarah? We don't see any place that the Torah makes a distinction between many people being Mechal Shabbos to one person. Ella b'shevet shudach. We must say that we're talking about an entire shevet that did Avodah Zarah. Similar to the Irani Dachas, where many people do Avodah Zarah, and then we burn up the whole city. Now, when it comes to Irani Dachas, when an individual does Avodah Zarah, what does he get? Skila. When an entire city does Avodah Zarah, what do they get? Sayif. And you need Sanhedrin. So the question is, when you have an entire shevet, Chas v'shalom, a whole shevet does Avodah Zarah, so you're telling me that they have to be similar to Irani Dachas. That what? We give them all Sayif instead of Shalom Aleichem, instead of Skila, and you need a Sanhedrin. Kiman, like Rabbi Yoshia, but like Rabbi Yonasan. This doesn't go like Rabbi Yoshia nor like Rabbi Yonasan. This is Anya. How many people are in Irani Dachas? From 10 to 100. Over 100, it's not Irani Dachas. Less than 10, not Irani Dachas. This is Rabbi Yoshia. Let me show you a video for a second. Tell me if there's a problem in this video. What's the problem here? Population. So like 17,000. No, because this goes like Rabbi Yonasan. You could have from 100 to most of a shevet, but not the entire shevet. Entire shevet doesn't get sayif, doesn't get a Sanhedrin. So what's going on here? You need a majority. You have an entire shevet, they don't get sayif. They get something else. They'll probably get skila. So what's going on here? If the entire shevet did avodah zarah, so what oynish do you give them? You can't give them what they give Yerenei Dachas. You can't treat them like Yerenei Dachas. So then what? It can't be that the whole shevet did avodah zarah. Omer Rav Masna Hacha, with Daf Tezayin Amud Aleph on top. B'nasi shevet shechata skinon. We're not talking about the entire shevet doing avodah zarah. We're talking about one individual, the head of the shevet, the nasi. We're going to have where the lines get wide, like 2 lines from where it gets wide. Rav Ada bar Ahava is going to say this thing. We're borrowing it from there and applying it over here. Yisrael tells Moshe Rabbeinu, what does Hagadol mean? When we read it, what does it mean? Complicated. A real dentire, something easy. Give to the. No. Bava Bahava learns Gadol is like what we say today. He's a Gadol. The guy's a Gadol. Go to Reb Chaim Kayetz because he's a Gadol. Not complicated. He's a Gadol, literally. Dvarav shel Gadol. We're not talking about the matter, that it's a complicated matter. We're talking about the person. So that's what Rav Ada says in like 20 lines. He's talking about a Kohen Gadol over there. So we could apply it over here also. We're talking about the Nasi. One person, not the entire Shevet. One person, he's a Gadol. He's the greatest one in the Shevet. Oh, he did avodah zarah. You need 71. You can't just deal with him like a regular individual, bring 23 people and kill him. No, you need 71. Another pshat. When the entire Shevet comes along and says, listen, we have a problem. We don't like that you gave us the valley. We want some views. We want this. So you need to bring 71 Sanhedrin, all the way from Yerushalayim, from Lishkas Agazis, bring them out there, let them figure it out. Just like the beginning of Eretz Yisrael, the first 7 years, when Yeshua was dividing Eretz Yisrael, we had 71 Sanhedrin, Afkan Shivim Ve'echad, so too, when there's a problem with the Shevet, 71. Imat Chilasa Kalpi, there was a lottery. Urim Betumim, there was something like this. This is what the Kohen Gadol wears, and that you put a little piece of cloth with Shem Hashem, and then it's a peladic thing. It lights up. It has lights, and different words come out based on how it lights up. You read it, and it gives you the answer. V'chol Yisrael, all of Klal Yisrael stands around over there and is there. Afkan. So maybe when it comes to dividing or redoing whatever the nachla of the shevet is, Afkan. Kalpi, you should have a lottery. Urim v'tumim. V'kol Yisrael, you need these 3 conditions. No, not a good. Ela machvarta kirav masna. Okay, so we'll go back to the pshat, first words of the Amud. We're talking about a nasi. We're talking about you need 71 Sanhedrin for when the nasi does a big aveira. Let's say he was Michal Shabbos, and you want to kill him for anything that he needs to die for. You need 71 Sanhedrin. Ravina Omar loylo b'shevet shudach. No, we're going back to the original pshat on Amud Beis, that we're talking about an entire shevet that worshipped avodah zarah. And you're telling me, but then it's similar to Yerenei Dachas, and that doesn't fit right into any of the shitas. Says the Gemara, we do treat them in a way like Yerenei Dachas. Although the punishment is not like Yerenei Dachas. Yerenei Dachas is sayif, and we're going to treat him like an individual, which he gets skila for all the entire shevet. They get skila. If they stone them, throw them all off a building. But we're going to treat them like the Yerenei Dachas, which requires an entire Sanhedrin to paskin whether or not they get misa. So you have to continue the pasuk to understand, simple pasuk, but it says, we already established El Sharecha means a bezdin of 23. Ish v'isha atamoitzi l'sharecha. It's an exclusion. It's a miut. Only a man and a woman who worship avodah zarah, they get a bezdin of 23. But you don't bring out an entire city, entire shevet to the bezdin 23. To them, you need a bezdin of 71. You need the Sanhedrin. Now we move on to the next slide. We're at 29 now. For a Navi Sheker, you need 71. What's a Navi Sheker? This is how, I don't know if you've ever seen these guys darshaning on the street corners. Hashem spoke to me, told me I'm a Navi, v'chulu, v'chulu. It says by the Navi Sheker, Acha Navi Asher Yazid L'daber, it's a lashon of Hazada. V'isha Sheyasif Zadai. So the words are the same. It's talking about Hazada. And this is something we call Gzeri Shava. Gzeri Shava means if you have two words that are the same. At Har Sinai, Moshe Rabbeinu received from HaKadosh Baruch Hu this limud. You cannot make up this limud. You can't say, oh, it says V'ha'ish, and it also says V'ha'ish somewhere else, and therefore they have the same thing. No, it doesn't work. These are very limited amount of words that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said we're going to learn it from. Yazid, Yazid. Hazad, Hazad, Zakim Mamre. Zakim Mamre, we said, means one of the Sanhedrin. After the Sanhedrin got together, let's say they had 40 who said that the halach is like this, and 31 said the halach is like that, so we passed like the 40. One of the 31 was not happy about it, and he said, no, the halach is not like you guys. He says, no, off with your head. So we learn from Zakim Mamre. So this is a little tricky. We don't kill him with 71. We kill him with 23. But since he was against 71, the Gemara is going to ask right away, it's not fair to do something like this. He went up against 71 people. He was fighting the Sanhedrin. It's considered, once they have arrived, then the whole Sanhedrin said X. And he said, no, why? So he's up against 71. Afkan, so too when we kill a Navi Sheker, we kill him with 71. Afkan b'shivim ve'echad. Says Gemara, huh?
Up against 70, not 71.
Yeah, but it means the Sanhedrin of 70. He's up against 40. He's not up against 70. It's a rive. But it's considered a whole Sanhedrin. I get it. I hear what you're saying. He's not part of it. But he's up against this. We call it the Sanhedrin passing like this. He can say whatever he wants, but they passing like that. We go with the rive. Yes, he's up against 71, but we're talking about killing the guy. The Zakim Mamre is when we kill the Zakim Mamre, we kill him with 23, not with 71. And we're going to learn it from there, so then you'll learn that a Navi Sheker gets killed with 23, not 70. So how do we know 71 by Navi Sheker? There's another pasuk. Well, it's really the same. This one is Perikut Ches pasuk. Looks like the same thing. Yeah. Davar. A new. So you made a mistake in the Gzera Shava. It's not Azada. It's Davar. And the Davar is not discussing killing the Navi Sheker. It's talking about his speaking, his speech, his hamra, when he goes against the Sanhedrin. So therefore, when he goes against the Sanhedrin, he's going against 71. So we bring it back to the Navi to the Navi Sheker is also 71. You need 71 to kill him, because the davar by a Zakim Mamre is 71. He's talking against 71. So the davar by Navi Sheker is 71. You kill him with 71. Says the Gemara, okay. So once I know that we kill a Navi with 71, not 23. So then let's just take the original Gzera Shava that we had, not this one davar, but Azada, and learn the Zakein Mamre from a Navi Sheker. Just like a Navi Sheker, you need a 71 to kill him. So to this guy, you need 71. I'm sorry, the Zakein Mamre, you need 71 to kill him. Yes, we said he's 71. He went against 71, but you only kill him with 23. You should require 71 to kill a Zakim Mamre. Just like a Navi Sheker requires 71. Navi Sheker you learn from a Zakim Mamre. Now learn Zakim Mamre from a Navi Sheker. You need 71 to kill him. This is Gemara, very simple. Davar gomer, hazad gomer. You only have one Gzera Shava. You can't make up a Gzera Shava. The Gzera Shava that Moshe Rabbeinu received was Davar Davar, not Hazad Hazad. It doesn't exist even. Hazad Hazad doesn't exist. It was a mistake. Okay? New Sugya. Now, we go to 30 in the list. Kohen Gadol. When we have a big issue with the Kohen Gadol, we want to kill him, so he requires the Sanhedrin of 71. The latest Kohen Gadol. So this is the Ravada B'Arava we had all the way in the beginning of the Amud. We're talking about Gedolim over here. A great man, not a complicated matter. Dvora of Shel Gadol, the person that's up for the, what's the word? The guy coming to Bezdin. The defendant. The defendant is a gadol. It's not a complicated matter. The person that we're dealing with, he's a gadol. He's a kohen gadol. Meisvei. But we have a brayso that says very different. Dover gadol. Dover kasha means a complicated matter, not a great person. Maybe it means that he's a great person. Check this out. Oops, what just happened? I don't know. Here we go. Two psukim say almost the same thing. Pasuk Chav Beis says V'hayu kol hadavar hagadol, and then it says in Chavav Es hadavar hakasha. They even end off the same thing. The smaller matter. So says the Gemara, very simple. It can't mean. So the Gemara here learns that the two psukim are the same. Just like Pasuk Chavav is talking about a complicated matter, so two Pasuk Chav Beis is talking about a complicated matter, not a great person. And the Gemara is going to say, well, it doesn't make any sense. So that's the second shita. Says Gemara, okay, what are you asking me, Kasha? On Ravada B'Arava from this Tana. Who Tana? This is somebody that says exactly Ravada B'Arava. Also a Tana that he can rely on. This Aya Dover Gadol, Dvora of Shel Gadol. It's not a complicated matter. It's a great human being. Maybe Dover Kasha maybe means a complicated thing. Now this makes more sense to us. When you have two psukim, one says Kasha, one says Gadol. One means complicated, one means great. Referring to two different things. One is Hakasha, complicated, and Hagadol means a great man, referring to the Kohen Gadol. Then why the Tana that says that's the same exact thing? Why do I need two psukim? They both refer to a difficult discussion. So you need one pasuk. Why do you need two psukim for? One is to tell Klal Yisrael what to do. That it actually took place. They did it. If it's true what you're saying, then both psukim should use the same exact language. My gadol, my kasha. It makes more sense to say that the psukim are talking about two different things. One is a difficult matter, and one is a great person. My kasha, shmami notarti. Shalom aleichem. What's your name?
Jordan Heller.
From?
North Woodmere.
North Woodmere. Shalom aleichem. Yevaldi. Who else do we have here? He's not. See, if you make a mistake, he's been already. What's your name anyway? Crime from? Memshor. Right, you've been here a bunch of times? Yesterday. Rebbitzen. He's your son? So that's how I know you. You've been in the last week. You've been here 3 times at least, right? Okay, Givaldik. Oh, back me up with Rebbitzen. Shkoyach. Boy Rebbe Lazar. Shoyroi shekoin gadol bekamo. So now we have a shayla. Typically speaking, when you kill an ox, you need 23. When you kill a kohen gadol, you need how many? 71. What happens when you kill the ox of a kohen gadol? What's the shayla? Because at the end of the day, look at the pasuk. Hashar yisakel v'gam ba'ol of yumas. Kemises bailim kachmises hashar. You compare the two. So if you're comparing the two, then perhaps you need 71. You'd have to bring out an entire Sanhedrin to kill a silly bull. Oh, so we have this, Rabbi Isai, just for a short little break in this long sugya.
Sanhedrin of 23. Today, in the hearing, the results are the bull was found chayav and sentenced to skila.
Stop! It needs to be judged by a Sanhedrin of 71, because it is the Kohen Gadol's bull.
So what? But he's only a bull.
Agreed, but the bull is compared to the owner, and it therefore needs 71 dayanim, just like a Kohen Gadol.
No. The comparison just teaches us that 23 dayanim are needed. But we don't need 71.
71!
23.
71!
23. 23. Oh, well, that is one way to solve the issue.
Zog the Gemara, Shkoyach. So Abaye learns, okay, we don't have an answer to this. Is it like the video? We don't know. 71, 23. But one thing I could determine from this whole thing. You're only asking a question about his bull. But when the Kohen Gadol has an argument with his friend, he owes him $100 or not, then of course you don't need a bezdin of 71. Then you take a regular bezdin, 3 pshita. Well, what's even the havamina? 71. Well, he has any argument he has. He doesn't like his ticket that he got in his parking ticket. He's going to go. You have to gather 71 dayanim. I would say, I've learned. It means everything that has to do with the Kohen Gadol. Kamash Malon, only misa, only things that require the death penalty. Then you go from 23 to 71. But regular dinum maminis is with 3. Next on the list is Melchemes Rishus. Interesting, because as I mentioned, especially the Tilumi crowd was very upset that I mentioned Rashi without mentioning the Rambam. I said the Rashi in the Mishnah says the Melchemes Rishus. Today there's no Melchemes Mitzvah. It's only Rashi says it's only in the time of Yeshua, and people like.
You didn't mention it was Rashi at the time of the problem.
I didn't say Rashi.
It sounded like you were just opining about the.
Oh. Yeah, I was. I really didn't have any. I wasn't thinking like that. Whatever. I know it's on a lot of people's minds, and it's all. I wasn't. I just. What? What? Yeah, but we're learning. We learn with Rashi. Okay, I should have. Yeah, I could have mentioned machlokes and stuff. Anyway.
Why couldn't you mention the Rambam?
What's wrong with that? What does the Rambam say? What does the Rambam say? No, you say. Tell us what the Rambam says. No.
Come up here. Tell us the Rambam.
He's showing. I don't know. He's not focusing on anybody. Yeah. So let me ask you an unbelievable shayla. What is the difference if it's a mechemes or a shus or mechemes mitzvah? What today? L'may nafkimina. Let's say it's mechemes mitzvah.
Everybody has to go.
If it's a mechemes mitzvah, what is the difference?
Have to go,
So what? Mechemes shus also. It's the nefashos. You got to go. Everybody has to go.
If it was
All the yeshiva
to
bachim.
go, if it was
I don't know.
That's the
I have a much bigger nafkamina, much better, much. One thing is, like Levi said, Yifas Toyar. When it's Rishus, there is no Yifas Toyar. Another big chiddush. When you go from the Chemes Mitzvah and you see a piece of pork on the table, you grab it and you eat it, you don't ask any questions. You're hungry, you're not hungry, you can eat treif. You eat yain esach, nothing. You drink. There's no treif, there's no nothing. That's Mechemes Mitzvah. Mechemes Rishus, you can't. Big nafkamina. You're saying other nafkaminas, I don't know. He's getting involved in politics now. Yeshiva bachim, not yeshiva bachim. That's real nafkamina. You eat halal meat. You go in there. It's not theoretical. If you're in Gaza today and you see treif and you have a nice kosher meal, one of those TV meals, you're not in the mood. You have geschmacka.
Yeah, a nice piece of pork on the floor in Gaza. You can eat that.
In the freezer, a nice piece of halal.
Yeah, in the Arab's house. Halal pork. Exactly.
Not pork, halal. Halal is treif. Okay, anyway, Zog to Gemara. Yeah, I said. I didn't say v'chulu, you're right. Minani mili, omer v'od omer kro, v'lefnei lo zah koyin yamoid. So it goes like this. This is the pasuk. It's just very, very simple. The word hu means that you need a king to go out to war. You need a meshuach nechama from the word itay, or v'chav b'nisar itay, meaning meshuach nechama is a special kohen that's anointed, that had the oil poured on him. He goes out, he just screams out, war, whatever he screams out. He has he gets them into it. Huh? With the shofar. And Eidah means you need a Sanhedrin. So you have three things. You have a melech, meshuach nechama, and Sanhedrin. These are the three things that are required in order to go out to war. It happens to be, I heard, I don't know if this is a fact, I heard that certain people in Eretz Yisrael established their own Sanhedrin so that the Sanhedrin could say, we're going out to Mechemes Mitzvah. Because that's one of the things, requirements. I don't know. Ayin Shom. I don't want them to write me emails. How come you didn't say that we don't have a Sanhedrin? Okay, there's people out there that have a Sanhedrin. Don't write me emails. Who? Huh? They go to higher bias, no problem. What's the problem? Who? Not from Lishiyah. Who? Zem Melech. B'chol b'nei Yisrael itoy ze meshuach milchama. B'chol ha'eda ze Sanhedrin. I want to say real quickly a vart on this, on milchama, and that has to do with Hanukkah, real quickly. One of the things of Hanukkah is that we won the war. By Yaakov Avinu says, Ki sarisam elikim batuchal, he fought. A lot of, so the Bali Musar say, I forgot who says this, Rebbe Chanan or one of the Achrayim says this. It says in the pasuk that when what? Or you? No, it's not me. You'll hear from him. Mayafu pa'mayich bana'olim. That when Klal Yisrael goes up to Halila Regel bana'olim with their shoes, how beautiful. Mayafu. The question is, but when they're in the Beis Hamikdash, the actual mitzvah of seeing HaKadosh Baruch Hu is without shoes. In the Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to wear shoes. So it's bana'olim. So they say very gewaldig that the big schar comes from the battle that you have with your Yetzer. When you're going to the Beis Hamikdash, what's the big sign? The big sign is you think to yourself, what's going to be with all my stuff that I left at home? Somebody's going to come in there, break in. One of the non-Jewish neighbors is going to, he knows I'm gone for 2 weeks. He has an opportunity. And that's in the sign. Because promises, no, don't worry about it. I'll take care of your stuff. We don't know, maybe I didn't hide it well enough, maybe I didn't do enough of ishtadlus. You constantly, once you're in the Beis Hamikdash, then you're ready, you have the tremendous hashpah of the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, so you're not even thinking about this stuff. It's the battle, it's going up with your na'alim when you're going. And that's everything else. I think in the morning, when do you get the schar? When you're here in Shir already halfway through and your Gemara is open, or when you're under those covers and you're so tired and you really want to sleep for another half hour? That's where the schar is. In the place you don't really want to think about. In the mud, walking up to the Beis Hamikdash, under the covers, in the low places. That's where the real schar, not in the high places. But anyway, bye to Gagaga. Zog the Gemara.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not. No, I know it's somebody else, but I by the Kalima.
In honor of tonight.
I hope he doesn't say the same thing tonight. That is terrible. I hate when that happens. Then you mean he doesn't listen to the shir if he said it over. Who told you that you need Sanhedrin to allow us to go to war? Maybe the pshat is that Sanhedrin asked the Urim and Tumim. You don't need them. They're just part of the Urim and Tumim. They're doing the whole work around the Urim and Tumim. This is beautiful. How do you know you go to war with Sanhedrin? There was a harp. Some people say a violin, but the article says it's a harp. Something like this. Some people say that it was a wind instrument because it says that the wind actually affected it. How does wind affect a string? Like if you have a lot of wind on a guitar, it's not going to play a song. So that's why some people believe that it's okay. But anyway, I don't know exactly what it was. Some sort of instrument that was hung above the bed of David. As it says in the pasuk, imagine every single night at midnight, David HaMelech is up and ready to go for the rest of the day. And he had an alarm clock. His alarm clock was this kinar that hung above his bed. There's a special wind that comes at night that exactly at Chatzois Ruch Tzafainis Min Hasheves Boy Boy Minagim Eilov and would play on its own. Miyadoy David Oymed Vayzik Torah. Get up and do what? Torah. Achal Amud Shachar, and you learn all the way to the morning. Control Amud Shachar or Amud Shachar, whatever that is. Nichnasu Chachmei Yisrael, let's say Omer Loi. Then every single morning, the Chacham would come and discuss the Tzarchi Tzibur, basically on different questions that have what this story happened every day. No, it happened once. But every morning they would come in, and they said, Adineinu HaMelech, Amcha Yisrael Tzrichim LeParnassa. Your nation needs to make a living, and we have a lot of poor people. What do? Omar lehem l'chu v'sparnasu zemezeh. Let the wealthy give parnasa to the non-wealthy. I think we could also learn l'chu v'sparnasu zemezeh. My mother, Allah Shalom, used to go to this beat-up gas station under the tracks by McDonald's. Why? Even though it was more expensive, because it was owned by a Yid. Even though, I don't know if it was gas even, I don't know what they sold there. It wasn't like a Shell station, it was like one of these Chaim Hershkovitz gas.com. So, but it was owned by a Yid. There's an inyan to give parnasa to another Yid, and if I'm already saying that, then we should think about giving parnasa to one another here in our chevra. So if you have to bring money in from Chutz La'aretz, you go to Adar Global. If you need to buy an apartment, you go to Danny Fine and Hill Abrams. If you need to buy meat, you go to Meir Dambi. Einhorn. You don't forget it. Let's talk about if you need you need to go on a tour. You need a tour guide. Oh, we also have 6 of those. Forget about that. I'm saying we do have 6. So you go to say Benzi Novak. Where's Benzi Novak? Who did all the breakfast and everything? Shkoyach Benzi. There's others. There's Raki. There's. But kids, you know what I'm talking about. Instead of going to the Arabs, Yimach Shemam, for construction, you go to the Yidden. It costs a little bit more, you get a better job, but you mefarnes the Yid. There's something to think about. There's something to... You go to Citron Film. Well, you need something done. But you go to, but they're already here if they're hearing this. Who else do you go to? Gil Harris. You get a jet thing. Gil Harris gives 10,000 shekel. Yisrael Sher gave 10,000 shekel also. You go to him for construction. Gil Harris sells cars, and he does private jet things. So if you need to get to Budapest real quick, but buy a car from him. Buy a car. Shkoyach. Amrloi. Amrloi ein hakoimet mazbia es ha'ari. Check this out. A little teeny piece of nothing is not going to help feed the lion. Ve'ein habar mismalam mechul yasai. A genius. You want to fill up your pit. So you go to the bottom of the pit, take a shovel, take dirt, come to the top of the pit, and pour it back in. It's not going to help you. It's not going to fill up the pit. I heard from those who know, I think Rav Shteyman used to say that, if everybody just did what they had to do, their chiyuv of Meiser, Klal Yisrael wouldn't have any issues. Forget about the rich people. If everybody in Klal Yisrael gave what they needed to give, we'd have extras. I once heard a lady told me in Bemis, a lady said, I can't give Meiser. It's too much. I have my Meiser is a lot of money. How could I give that? Oh, that's why you have to give it. Chacham. She has millions and she's born. Oh, it comes out to $2 million Meiser. Oh, Kodesh Baruch Hu gave you that much money. What do you? I have an idea. Go to war. By the way, real quick, I got to tell you this joke. It's a schmack joke. Trump, 10 minutes. Trump was visiting Iran because he wanted to make peace with the Ayatollah over there. So the Ayatollah shows him his desk. He says, sit down, Mr. Trump. He says, there's 3 buttons over here. Press them, you'll see some unbelievable stuff. So Trump presses the button. This hand comes out of the table, gives Trump a smack in the right side of his face. Presses another button, to the left. 3rd button, a cup of water falls out of the ceiling, hits him in the head. Trump says, very nice, very nice. Come to Washington, let me show you. So the guy comes to Washington. The Ayatollah, this Russian Marusha, and he sits down on Trump's desk, he starts pushing the button. Nothing, garnished. So he tells Trump, you see, I'm going to go back to Tehran now, and I'm going to tell everybody what a joke your whole thing is. He said, you mean, it used to be Tehran, not anymore. Zog the Gemara. Those who understood. Maybe your wife could explain to you. I saw you didn't even flinch and like. All right, weiter. So pishtu yidechem bagdud. Go make some war, or bring some people in. You'll take their taxes and givaldik. They want to fight you, you'll kill them. You take whatever they have, but you could at least take their taxes. Miyad yoyitzim b'achitoyvel. So how do you go to war? Oh, so finally we're getting to the point. How do you go to war? You take first, you need an Eitzah for Machitoifel. B'nim Melochim Bas Sanhedrin. So this is where it says Mefurish, you need a Sanhedrin to go to war. It's not the Sanhedrin that goes to the Urim V'Tumim. You need Sanhedrin to say it's okay to go to war. In addition to that, B'Shoyalim B'Urim V'Tumim, you ask the Urim V'Tumim. Or Rav Yosef Mikra. Where do we see this? In the Pasuk. Amud Beis v'Achriach Yitoifel b'Noyo ben Yoyoda v'Ev Yosef v'Tzatzova l'Melech Yoy. Huh? It's not. Okay. You have different pshat. Okay, hold on a second. Achi Teufel ze yoyitz. V'chein oimer v'atzas achi Teufel asher yoyitz. Uv'neyo ben yoyoda zu Sanhedrin. You need a Sanhedrin. Ev yosar elu urim v'tumim. You need a urim v'tumim. V'chein oimer v'neyo ben yoyoda like crazy places. Crazy places referring to the urim v'tumim. Why is it called crazy place? You've learned a Gishmon crazy place. Crazy should curse in the brain. They cut. It's exact. This is what you need to do. Uplacey. Shemufulaim ma'aseyan, that it's wondrous, that it's unbelievable. You look at this thing and it lights up. It's unbelievable. And only after you have these three, the Yoyats, the Sanhedrin, the Urim V'Tumim, then you could take the generals and go out to war. Oh, we have to do sponsors. Turning of the Daf for Tevis. Berkovici family in honor of the MDY Daf champions, Leo, Shamshi Shlafrak, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross. Muncie firefighters. What's RS? For Shelaima, to our chief, Chaim Gabriel Ben Sivia Lana from the Muncie Fire Department. And Yaakov Sidron Films, strategic video production. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Ravad Bamrila, Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Avdumi, Abu Dimi, Maikra. Uro kvoidi. When I was a child, I used to say, my father told me to say this pasuk, you don't need an alarm clock. It used to work most of the time. Uro kvoidi, especially when I had to go on a trip. Uro kvoidi, uro haneva v'chinar, or iro shochar. And then you say, like, wake me up at 7. You wake up at 7. It's interesting. Try it out. I haven't tried it out in 40 years, but it used to work. Huh? No, there's no time for singing right now. Okay. 32 and 33 on the list is adding a city, adding to the Beis Hamikdash. Benani Mili Omar to the Azara. Omar Rav Shimi Bar Chia Makro Kechol Asher Nimara Oischa Eis Tavnis Hamishkan. Says by me Ace. Sorry. It says on the side also Ace. That's why. That's one of the people ask me, why do you read the Kudus? You don't know how to read? I know how to read pretty well, but I like it for the psukim especially and things like that. So yeah, Baruch Hashem. Even if once in every 6 months, I use it's good. Now I have no idea where I am. What is v'chein tasu mean? V'chein tasu means the doris habayim. That this is the way to do it. And who did it then? Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was 71. Moshe Rabbeinu's word 71, that's the whole sugya. So Meila for Doiris, you need 71 if you want to add. Why would you add to Yerushalayim? To give the Gedusha for Kachim Kalim. Why would you add to the Azara? To give it the Gedusha for Kachim. If you want to eat like a Chatos in there, you have to eat it only in the Azara. So you don't have room, you open it up. Korban Pesach, you can eat it all over Yerushalayim. But if you extend Yerushalayim, it has to be for real. You can't just have the mayor of the city do it. You need a real Sanhedrin to extend Yerushalayim. Masav Rava. When you have, see, you have a kli in the Beis Hamikdash. Let's say you have a fork, you have a cup. It has to be kaddish. How do you make it kaddish? By pouring oil. You anoint it. Moshe Rabbeinu anoints it with oil. But later generations, actually using it in the Beis Hamikdash makes it kaddish. Says Gemara V'amai, where did you get this from? Neba v'chein tasu. Over there it also says the words v'chein tasu. It should be l'doris habayim here v'chein tasu meshicha. Says the Gemara, Shani hasam damakra v'yim shachem v'yikadish oisam. Dafka, those kalim of that generation had to be done with oil. Oisam b'meshicha v'loi l'doiros b'meshicha. Here, let me just see. V'yikadish oisam. V'yim shachem v'yikadish oisam means It's an exclusion. It's a miut, not for generations. As the Gemara, maybe it's an exclusion. It's a miut. But it's telling us that in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, it was only one way to do it, with oil. Later on, you can do it two ways. Here, you see on the left, Meshicha and Avodah. As Yisharsu takes off the Meshicha, you have to do an Avodah with it. Misharis, to work it in the Beis HaMikdash. That's what makes it Bakodesh Kadesh. Hakaz of Tala and B'Sheiros, working with it. Ela Oisam Lamali. So if so, we have to understand what the first pasuk, Oisam means. Says Gemara, Ilav Oisam Avamina L'Doris B'Meshicha Uba Avodah. Maybe you need both together. You need to work it. Yeah, Asher Yisharsu means to do Avodah with this kli, but also with oil, an anointment of oil first. A two-step process. V'chein tasu means L'Doris. You should do oil forever. No, this v'chein tasu oisam, just this generation. Oisam b'meshicha v'loi l'doris b'meshicha. A little bit more. Let's go a little bit more. Vein oisam Sanhedrin. Now, in order to, we're at 34 already. To make a Sanhedrin, the smaller every city needs a 23-person Sanhedrin. How do you do it? With the 71-person Sanhedrin. They have to leave the Lishkas Hagazis, go into whatever city. They go to Haifa, and they say, you 23 are the Sanhedrin. Minolan, how do we know this? Moshe Rabbeinu is counted as 71. He established the Sanhedrin. So I'm going to show you this pasuk, and the rest is, you're going to ask, you're probably all going to wonder, there's a lot of extra wording over here, I think. Basically, the pasuk says two words: shoiftim v'shoitrim. Shoiftim are judges, dayanim. Shoitrim means policemen, officers that take care of business. They'll hit somebody if they need to. They'll arrest somebody. Where do you need the shoiftim and the shoitrim? B'chol sharecha, in every city, and where else? L'shvotecha, in every shevet. That's the whole sugya. It's basically a bunch of lines here. So let's read it quickly. Menayin shemamidim shoiftim l'Yisrael. How do you know you need shoiftim? Talmud loymar shoiftim tita. Shoitim l'Yisrael, how do you know you need police? Talmud loymar, shoitim tita. Shoitim chol shevet, how do you know in every shevet? Talmud loymar, shoitim l'shvatecha. Here, it's in the pasuk l'shvatecha. Shoitim chol shevet, Talmud loymar, shoitim l'shvatecha. Shoitim chol here, how do you know in every city? Now, what's the difference? If it's in every city, so then every shevet has it. Why do you need it every shevet, every city? The answer is because some cities have two shvatim in it. So even though you have one, let's say Yerushalayim, you have Binyamin and Yehuda. You would need a special bezin for Yehuda, special bezin for Binyamin. Shoydim l'cholir v'yir minayin, Talmud loymar, shoydim l'sharecha. Rabbi Yehuda omer, echad b'muna al kulam, says Rashi, and the Tosfos argues, echad b'muna means you need an entire Sanhedrin. Echad means 71, not one, 71. Tosfos says no, echad means one, means the Av Bezdin. You need one to be in charge of everybody. You need a CEO. You can't just have a bunch of things running around. Shenemar titan l'cha, singular. If you're from Binyamin, do not go to a bezin of Yehuda. You belong in Binyamin. And finally, the final last one of 71, and that's the whole list of 35 of the Mishnah. So what's near Nidachas? If an entire city, we saw a certain amount, whatever it is, but basically the whole city is doing Avodah Zarah. You come in there, you chop everybody's head off with a sword, and you burn the entire city. You're not allowed to have any honor from anything. How do you know? Damakro, and you need 71 bezdin to decide this. Damakro, it says Israel. A man or a woman. Ish v'isha atamoitzi l'sharecha, 23. V'atamoitzi koler kula l'sharecha. And you don't do a whole city with 23. You need 71. And you don't put one of these. You don't burn an Ir Nidachas when it's on the border, let's say with Syria, my taima. It has to be within Eretz Yisrael, v'loy min asfar. V'loy shalosh, and you don't have 3 cities that you burn like that. T'chsiv achas, only one. But you do 2. T'chsiv arecha, arecha is plural. Achas means 1, so we have a little bit of a problem. Is it 1 and not 2? Is it 2 not 3? What's going on here? Achas v'loy shalosh. 1, but you don't do it for 3 cities. Maybe it comes to exclude it. Even 2 cities you can't do. 2 cities worship of Israel, you don't burn them. You do it for 2 cities. So why does it say 1? It's coming to exclude 3. So Rashi says something very interesting. When the Sanhedrin is still alive and existing, they don't have the right to destroy more than 1 city, 2 cities. But if they died and you have a brand new Sanhedrin, you can do 3 cities. And sometimes Rav said, you never, even if it's the Sanhedrin died and there's a new Sanhedrin, you don't do 3 cities. My time in the Rav. You don't want to bald out Eretz Yisrael. Here's a city that was burnt down. Here's a city that was burnt down. That's only when it's in 1 area. It's not such a problem getting bald. At the end of the day, Eretz Yisrael is being bald. So what if one is in the north and one is in the south? You're balding out Eretz Yisrael. You could do it in 2 different cities or areas, but 2 in Yehuda. And when it's on the border, my time, what's the reason? I think we owe Hakar Satoiv actually to all those people that live up there. We drove to, where was it, Eli? And they live within the Arabs. It's unbelievable. And this terrorist attacks there. But imagine if they didn't live there. How many of these Rishayim Arurim would come into our cities on a daily basis? They give us a little bit of a buffer. They take it for Klal Yisrael. We have to give them Hakar Satoiv. So that's what's going on here. You need a buffer. You need somebody on the border. I know they did have a desire, but you can't kill them out now. My time, they'll come in. The Goyim will run right through this, like they did in Gaza. But typically, the Mikarbel, yeah, they don't. You don't burn them out or whatever. I don't know what they do to them exactly. You have to kill the Chayiv Misa. But why you give me a reason? It says Mefurish in the pasuk Mikirbecha. It has to be in the center of Eretz Yisrael. But not on the border. Says the Gemara, the famous thing, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Darish time of the Korah, he always tries to say the reason. You're right, it is a pasuk, but what's the reason behind the pasuk? To save Klal Yisrael. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Afreilchem Chanukah. We'll see you tonight. Be'ez Hashem. Shir tonight for Hebrew is at 6 o'clock in the Beis Medrash.